close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Daniel Bailey TV. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Well, it is happened. Arsenal have been dumped out of the Carabao Cup by Brighton. Listen, before I get into talking about the game, do smash the like button, do subscribe, and do turn on notifications. Would really, really appreciate that. Apologies, I'm a few minutes late as well. I was browsing something on my phone and didn't realise the time. But listen, we are here. Brighton, what can I say about the game yesterday? Arsenal-Brighton. It was, I tell you what, I don't really want to look at it this way, but I'm going to look at it this way because this is how I see it. It's not really a disaster about going. I don't think it's a disaster going out of the Carabao Cup. I'll tell you what it has done, though. It's made me realise a few things about this Arsenal side. And the first being is that our second string team is shit. Like, there's no other way of saying it. Our second strings team is it needs upgrading, doesn't it? You know, our first 11 is quality. Our second string side not so good. So that's one thing that I've realised. And the other thing is, I've also realised, listen, we're doing well in the league. We're doing well in the Europa League. Our FA Cup run hasn't started. If you're going to want to get knocked out of any tournament, and I wouldn't normally advocate this, because obviously you're in every competition, you've got to try and win every competition. But if you're going to bin off one competition to try and get something else, it would be the League Cup. Like, I ain't going to lie, who gives a shit about the League Cup? Like, they probably should have just fucking binned it off this year, because it's listen, it's a shit trophy. And actually, I don't know, like I've never really been a big fan of the League Cup. I've been a big fan of the League Cup in terms of, like, it's a way of improving young talent. But as a serious trophy, it's probably the least one that you would want to win. And I know a lot of people are going to go, oh, but it's the League Cup. But, you know, oh, we need to win a trophy a day out at Wembley. We can do that with the FA Cup. You know, we can get a day out at a cup final if we get to the Europa League final. So, I don't know. Like, it's just my personal opinion. Like, honestly, everybody, you guys might look on it differently. You might think, do you know what? Actually, the League Cup is something that we really need to be going. What I certainly don't agree with is that actually we should be playing our full strength side in the League Cup with the fixture congestion. And actually, when you look on it, the next half of the season is going to be so congested. We're going to have Europa League, we're going to have FA Cup, we're going to have League. And then maybe binning off the Carabao Cup might do us a bit of a favour. But listen, apart from that aside, we didn't play well yesterday. Our second string side, and I was a little bit disappointed, because you look at players like Lokonga, you look at players like Nelson. Nelson has never been good enough for this Arsenal side. Just because he scored 2 goals against Nottingham Forest, everyone's like fucking ejaculating over the fact that he scored 2 goals. Like, for me, Nelson has never been good enough for Arsenal. We need a massive massive upgrade. Same with Nketiah. Never really hit the heights, need a massive upgrade. I was prepared to give him a chance when he signed that new contract, but he's not really good enough. I actually glad that he signed a new contract because it puts Arsenal in a strong position. We could get a fee for him if we decide to sell him, which actually I probably think we should sell him. Then you look at maybe Lokonga, who probably needs a loan at this point. I actually look at Sambi Lokonga and think, you know what, you would benefit so much from maybe going down the path that like what Nuno Tavares has done. Maybe going down the path of getting a loan just to apply your trade where the pressure is not on you. Because at Arsenal, we've gone to another level now. You know, we're competing to try and win the major trophies. And I don't think Sambi Lokonga is quite there yet. I think he could benefit from a loan. I think he could benefit from maybe playing in a Championship side or a Premier League side that's sort of not as ambitious as Arsenal are. So in that respect, maybe the game last night sort of opened my eyes, if you'll excuse the pun, opened my eyes to the fact that A, we need to strengthen our second string squad, and B, we need to maybe loan some of these players that aren't quite ready yet. And then obviously there's some players that actually have been here too long and have had too many opportunities and just plain need to be shipped out. You know, you look at like Rob Holding, you know, you look at maybe Cedric and Nketiah, Nelson. Those are the players that probably need to go. El Neni, maybe ship El Neni out. That's another good number of players. And then you can bring in real quality. Because listen, our first 11 is bang on. We've got a bloody good first 11. But the moment you start stripping that back, the moment you start putting in some of these players that aren't quite up to the standard, you can see our level drops considerably. So we definitely need an upgrade. We need to upgrade our squad. We've got our first 11. Listen, our first 11's solid. But our squad, we need to update. We need to bring in 3 or 4 quality players. But in terms of the game last night, like literally, it was just, it just wasn't great, was it? I know like we huffed and puffed and we wasn't great in the final third, but listen, Brighton deserved it. Fair play to Brighton. They fully deserved their win. And actually, I've got to be honest, like I said at the start of the video, I'm not too disappointed. I'm not going away from this game, you know, calling for Arteta out or any of that, you know, because it really isn't that deep. Getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup, if I'm being honest, and if we're all being honest, probably be a blessing because it's less games to play when we come back from the World Cup. And actually, when you look at the way our season's going, we got bigger fish to fry. Like the Premier League we need to focus on staying in and around the top of the Premier League. We need to focus on going far in the Europa League. And then, look, the FA Cup. I'll be happy with that. A long cup run. An FA Cup that actually means something. Now, I know I've sat here in the past and slammed the FA Cup and said, listen, you know, the FA Cup has been kind of like a get out of jail free card for us. When you look at how we've won it over the years and it's just papered over cracks. But I do genuinely feel we're in a different place now. I genuinely feel that if we finish second, won the FA Cup, won the Europa League, that'd be a fucking awesome season. You know, obviously, if we won the league and that was the only thing we won, then obviously that would trump everything because A, we'd be back in the Champions League and B, we'll have won the Premier League. That's ultimately what all Arsenal fans want. And if we can do that, obviously, we've got a massive obstacle in Man City. And do you know the thing is as well, right? I was thinking about this the other day, that if we take Man City out of the equation, we would be odds on to win that Premier League because we are the best team in the Premier League. When you take Man City out of the equation, obviously it's a hypothetical situation because Man City are there. You know, they're a force. You take them out of the side. If they didn't exist, then it'd be us, because all the rest of the teams, all the other teams are shit. You know, you look at Chelsea, shit, Spurs, shit, Man United, shit, Liverpool have just fallen off an absolute cliff. They're shit. So like we would have a chance, but listen, we are in the reality of Man City and Haaland and all that. So it is what it is. But listen, guys, in all honesty, getting dumped out of the Carabao Cup, I'm not too disappointed. Like I'm really not. I'm really not fussed about the Carabao Cup. And it's not me kind of like overlooking it as a trophy. It's just the way our season's panning out, we've got bigger fish to fry. And actually, I don't care about the Carabao Cup. If I'm being honest, the Carabao Cup is like the Nations League of club football. Like nobody gives a shit about the Nations League. You know, like that shitty UEFA competition that are essentially glorified friendlies. Nobody gives a shit about that. And I do feel like the League Cup is the same thing. Nobody gives a shit about the League Cup. You know, and you know, if you're a team like a mid-table Premier League side, and if you're a lower league side, you know, like in the Championship, or maybe you probably do care about it because it's a day out of Wembley. But if you're a top side and you're in Europe and you know you're going for the big trophies, maybe it's a little bit arrogant to think like this, and probably people are going to pull me up and say, "Oh, it's an arrogant way of thinking." But I don't give a shit about the League Cup. It's just the way. It's just how I see it, and maybe secretly Arteta's probably thinking, and he probably isn't, it's probably just me reading too much into it, but maybe secretly Arteta's probably thinking, you know what, maybe getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup is a blessing. He isn't going to say that, probably isn't going to tell the players that, but what you tell players and what you think is probably two different things. But yeah, big up everybody in the chat. Oh, good afternoon to Joanne. Where were you last night, Joanne? I missed you in the watch along. But would you have said the same thing if we had won? You know, the thing is, right? I probably would. If we'd had won, I've always said and I've maintained that the League Cup, especially in this season, is a distraction. And obviously, we've only just talking about it now because obviously we're only playing the first game in November. But I probably would say the same thing. In my preview, I kind of said that the League Cup, you know, we start our League Cup campaign, but it is, I don't know, I never really felt for this competition. Maybe if our league form was shit and we were struggling, then I might think differently. But I just think at this current moment in time, where this Arsenal side are, we've got bigger priorities. Honestly, I'm not underestimating the opportunity that we've given ourselves with our league form. We are in an opportunity now where actually we need to prove to the media, we need to prove to everybody that's doubting us, and actually going up against Man City being the underdogs is probably a good thing for us because no one's expecting us to win a title. Even Arsenal fans, I'm not expecting us to win a title. Everyone's expecting Man City to win a title because they've spent big. They've got Haaland. They've got the Haaland machine. No one's expecting us to win a title. And actually, I think that could, I'm not saying it is, so before anybody clips this and posts this all around social media, it could play into our hands a little bit, you know, because no one's expecting us to win a title. We're just, as Arsenal fans, I'm just enjoying the ride that we're on, you know, being top of the league. But we have given ourselves a really good opportunity. You know, if we can stay there during the World Cup, I mean, obviously during the World Cup because no one's going to be playing in the fucking World Cup. If we can stay there after Saturday and then going into January, going into the end of December, January, we'll have given ourselves a real opportunity. And I genuinely genuinely believe that, and we can't waste this opportunity. So if we have to sacrifice the League Cup, hey, listen, I'm all for sacrificing the League Cup. Big up Stephen Davis. Big up Jason. He said this game just proves that we lack squad depth. They showed it again. It's going to take time. Hence, as fans reluctant to claim that we're going to win the league. Yeah, listen, I don't want you guys to sit here thinking that I'm thinking that we're going to win the league, but there's a difference between thinking we're going to win the league and capitalize. There's a difference between us thinking we're going to win the league and us capitalizing on an opportunity that we put ourselves in, and we have. Whether you think we're going to win the league or not, we have put ourselves into a cracking opportunity, and I think we need to capitalize on that. I really do. I genuinely think that actually it's theirs for the taking, and if we it's ours for the taking, and if we do miss out by a point because of because of Man City's brilliance, or because we just dropped a point here and there, and if we come second, do you know what, guys? Honestly, I'll be relatively happy if we finish second. That will have been a quality season, especially when you look at where we were. Second is quality. Second is brilliant. It's not a trophy. But what it does mean is it's Champions League football, and it means progress. That's all what we wanted to see as Arsenal fans. When you look back at before the season started, we all said as Arsenal fans, we want to see progress. Arteta's got his players. We want to see progress. No one expected us to win a title. And again, no one's expecting us to win a title. So if we finish second, I would see that as progress. Because listen, the league form is the most important thing. It's your bread and butter. You've got to perform well in the league. And if we finish second, I'd be relatively happy with that. Yes, it'd be disappointing because we'll have missed out. Of course it would. But second, it's not an unrealistic target. And I think we could well achieve that. I think we could achieve first. I think we could achieve winning the league. But obviously a lot of things have to happen for that to happen. Don't forget, we've still got 2 games against Man City. But if we finish second and we had a long cup run, or we won the Europa League, that'd be a decent season. I wouldn't have no complaints about that season. Exactly, Jason. Jason's just put a comment here. He said, Champions League, regardless how we get it, is the aims this season. Premier League first, Europa League second, FA Cup third, and Carabao Cup fourth. And he said, getting us knocked out isn't as big a deal as people are making out. Exactly. I agree with you, Jason. Big up, Tom. I've already addressed that. Not gonna answer that. And Joanne, yes, I was right. Let's have a look here. But yeah, guys, do smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Please hit that subscribe button. Currently 8 people watching. So yeah, honestly, guys, I wouldn't see it as a massive disappointment, us getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup. But listen, it is what it is. We're out of the cup. We're out of the cup, and yeah, it is what it is. We just have to move on, and like I say, we've got bigger fish to fry on Saturday. We've got a massive game against Wolves. We've got a massive game coming up, and we can't let the ball drop. You know, we can't drop the ball. We can't drop the ball. We have to keep going in the league. Listen, yeah, the longer we keep going, the closer, you know, if we can push Man City, then listen, we'll have had a fantastic season. But yeah, I agree with Jason with your comment about being the Champions League being the ultimate priority, and that's what most Arsenal fans would have been asking for. Most Arsenal fans would have been asking for Champions League football, because we have, like, honestly, we've been out of the Champions League for far too long. We've been fucking dumped out of the Champions League, and I hate it. I hate the depressing Europa League music. That fucking, what is it? The fucking, oh, I'm not even going to try and fucking sing that tune. It's a fucking annoying tune. The competition is shit. The group stages is shit. I've had enough of the Europa League. I want to be back in the Champions League. I want to be playing teams. I don't want to be playing Karabag or bloody Zurich or anybody. I want to be playing decent teams like Barcelona, Bayern Munich. Look, it's a whole different conversation about whether we can compete with those teams. But listen, it's like the lottery, isn't it? You've got to be in it to win it, and if you're not in it, you can't win it. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is, guys. Honestly, it really is. But I'm hoping that we can. I'm hoping that we can get there. Right. If there's no other comments, I am going to wrap this show up. But so, get your comments in. I'll do 5 minutes of comments. Let's have a look here. Stephen Davis says, will Arsenal get the players we need in January? I actually do, like, and I'm not blowing smoke up the Cronky's arse because I sit on the advisory board. I actually do think we'll strengthen in January. I think last season when we didn't strengthen in January, and we fucked up because we had a real chance for top four, and the reason why we missed out on top four is because we didn't strengthen. And I think that will have hurt Arsenal. I think that will have hurt the Cronkies. I think that will have hurt Mikel Arteta and Edu. You know, you talk about, you know, Arteta talks about it in his press conference, and even the players talk about it. You hear like the likes of Aaron Ramsdale saying that the way that we're playing this season is because of the way that last season ended and because of the disappointment. They're using that as motivation to right that wrong. And I think that's true. You know, I think that the fact that we missed out really hurt the players. And obviously it hurt us fans as well. And because of who we missed out to, I think they're going to want to put that right. So, yeah, I do genuinely believe we'll get the players we need in January. I don't think it will be like a massive transfer window where we splash the cash and get like 5 or 6. I think that era's done now. I don't necessarily think we need 5 or 6 players. I think maybe what will happen is we'll probably get 1, maybe 2 in January, and then we'll get another 2 in the summer, maybe even 3, depending on where we finish. But let me tell you something. If we finish in the Champions League places, there's definitely going to be an increase in quality of player that we can get. And obviously, if the unthinkable happens and we win the league, then who knows what's going to happen. But there's all speculation and probably not going to happen. But yeah, on a serious note, I do actually genuinely think we'll get the players we need in January. I don't think it will be a massive transfer window, but I do think we'll get maybe 1, maybe 2. Tom says couple of signings needed in January. Yes, actually, a couple of signings are needed in January. So yeah, do smash the like button, guys. Do smash the subscribe button. Trying to grow this channel, so please share it around all your communities. Who's the holding midfield that we need in January to compete with Partey? I want Milinkovic-Savic. Do I think we'll get him? Probably not, because he's probably going to cost upwards of 60 to 70 million pounds, and I don't think Arsenal will spend that. But yeah, Milinkovic, Savage. I do actually think there's a chance we could probably go back in and get Tielemans. But if we can get Milinkovic, Savage, honestly, I would. He's an absolute beast. I would definitely take him. Because when you look at it as well, we're going to be in a similar situation to what Liverpool are going through. You know, our midfield's aging. Granit Xhaka's 29, 30. You've got Thomas Partey is similar age. So our midfielders are going to need replacing fairly soonish. So we could potentially be in another situation with what Liverpool find themselves in now, with their midfield being a bit shit because they're all aging. So we've got to be careful that we watch out for that. But yeah, Milinkovic, Savic, I would definitely take him. Definitely take him. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, guys. It really is. Like, honestly, we've got the game on Saturday. Hopefully, we can get the 3 points. Hopefully, we can come out of it unscathed. And then hopefully we can go into the World Cup top of the table, which means that we'll be top by a technicality over Christmas, which will be nice. And yeah, just keep that good run going. Listen, guys, I'm going to leave it there because I've been going for almost nearly half an hour now. So listen, do smash the like button on your way out, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Set them to always so you never miss any of my shows. I'll be back tomorrow with a Wolves preview. And then, yeah, really looking forward to that. So do come and tune in. Probably be about the same time, maybe 4 p.m. And then obviously Saturday is the Wolves game. Not sure if I'm going to that or not. I probably am. So there won't be any watch-alongs. Obviously, in the event that I don't go, there probably will be. But on Sunday, I'll be doing a review. I'll drop the review on Sunday. And then, yeah, listen, it's building up to the World Cup then. Listen, all take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Arsenal out of the Carabao Cup. It's not a disaster, though, is it really? Take care, guys. See you on the next one.